Guys, I don't know about y'all, but I am thoroughly enjoying the woke civil war going on at Netflix. I am thoroughly enjoying it because just when you think it couldn't get crazier, it gets crazier, right? It gets crazier. As apparently in response to the Dave Chappelle special, there are a ton of trans people or people that's a part of the trans employee resource group, you know, those groups they be having at companies for, you know, minorities and stuff like that. They're organizing a walkout, right? And allegedly this walkout is supposed to be like 1,000 or so plus people. And I think it's supposed to happen on the 20th of this month. Okay. So news comes out that Netflix just fired the organizer of the trans employee walkout, right? After this person was suspected of leaking metrics about Dave Chappelle's special to the press. And I just really love this, right? I really love what's going on because it really reveals how fake woke these companies are, right? That these companies, like I've been telling you guys time and time again, they don't have a moral compass, right? The only thing they care about is greed. They're pretending to care about these issues. They don't really give a damn. And this whole Netflix thing is making Netflix reveal its hand. And Netflix is one of the more woke companies, right? They're one of the more woke ones. Okay, so just imagine how those that are not as woke as Netflix, you know, companies like Delta that pretended to be woke doing the whole Georgia voting law thing, just imagine how they actually really feel, right? They're not on board with this stuff, but they do it because they think it's going to make them money, right? That's why they do it. I mean, just look at this NFL situation and what happened with John Gruden and his emails, right? And the NFL, for as much as they want to deny this, but I guarantee you, in regards to this Washington investigation, all those thousands of emails they went through, John Gruden was not the only person saying stuff like that, right? I guarantee you he was not the only person, right? Matter of fact, I saw some reports about how some executives were basically mocking the NFL's diversity initiative. And I'm like, of course they were, right? While these other people was all offended. Like, oh, good, the NFL doesn't really believe in diversity. And I'm like, duh, of course they don't, right? Of course they don't. Why would they? Why would they outside of the money? Nobody in the league office or even the players on the field want women in men's locker rooms, right? They don't want women refereeing the game. They don't want that. Of course they don't. Are you out of your mind? Why would you think that they want that? They don't want it. And again, I don't really blame them for having the feelings that they have. I don't at all. And that's not me endorsing those feelings or saying that I even agree with those feelings. Only thing I'm saying is that I expect them to have those feelings, right? That's the difference between me and some of these other people. I have a realistic perspective on life and how people actually really feel about things. And I don't get offended by it because I understand human nature, okay? I know that people are not really on board with all this woke stuff. They're not on board with all this diversity and all this other stuff, okay? They're not. They're just doing it for money. And it's interesting because the woke revolutionaries don't even realize that because there's a monetary incentive to be woke, capitalism is actually working in their favor. Okay, they always complain about capitalism, how capitalism is racist. But yeah, in this situation right here, capitalism is forcing people who actually don't want to be woke, right? And don't really believe in diversity to be woke and to implement some diversity simply to make money. Capitalism is literally working in your favor. And that's why I've always argued about capitalism. Okay, capitalism is colorblind. Okay, capitalism works for what makes money, right? If being woke and quote unquote diversity and inclusion is what's in the best interest of making that green, that's what companies are going to do. So these same people that complain about capitalism don't realize that they are benefiting from capitalism. They're benefiting from it. And I just find it hilarious when it backfires on them, like what's going on here at Netflix. Let's read about this one, okay? Because this is kind of crazy who they fired, right? It shows that Netflix literally has no chill. They do not care, right? Netflix has fired a leader of the trans employee resource group who was organizing the upcoming October 20th walkout. The employee, who is black and currently pregnant, asked not to be named for fear of online harassment. They have been encouraging trans employees and allies to walk out of work in protest of Netflix handling of the Dave Chappelle special, The Closer. The employee declined to speak to The Verge for this story. Quote, all these white people are going around talking to the press and speaking publicly on Twitter, and the only person who gets fired is the black person who was quiet the entire time, says a former employee in an interview with The Verge. That's absurd and just shows that the black trans people are the ones being targeted in this conversation. Bruh, I'm going to get back to this quote, but I got to read this next paragraph real quick. The employee was terminated on suspicion of leaking metrics to the press related to the Dave Chappelle special. Those metrics about how much Netflix paid, the closure, and how many people it reached subsequently ended up in a report on Bloomberg. While the employee had shared the metrics internally, they spoke out against the leaks to colleagues, worried they might hurt the walkout movement. Okay, so here's the thing. First and foremost, the metrics in question, right? From what I saw, from the reports of the Bloomberg article, they paid Dave Chappelle, I think, about $20 million, about 23, 24 million in that ballpark for this and his last special on Netflix, right? So Netflix, the fact they paid Dave Chappelle $20+ million shows you that they hit a lick, right? They hit a lick off Dave Chappelle. They making all kinds of paper off Dave Chappelle, okay? They making all kinds of paper, right? And when you're making all kinds of paper, all that woke nonsense goes out the window, right? It's about money first. It's about profit. It's about the green. And what I find to be so funny about this is how somebody is talking about how, Netflix is targeting black trans people. And I'm like, bruh, the person leaked internal documents from Netflix, proprietary information about their financials. And then it got leaked to a major news outlet. That is a fireable offense. I don't care who it is, right? People, you're going to get fired for that. Whether you white, black, trans, whatever, right? It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to get fired for that. And here's the thing. You're lucky that you didn't get fired for organizing this walkout, because you're organizing a walkout that essentially is going to keep the company from making money. It's going to stop and disrupt company operations. You're lucky you didn't get fired from that. But see, again, that's what blows my mind about some of these people. It's like the obvious reason why this person got fired has nothing to do with their gender identity or sexual. It has nothing to do with that. It has nothing to do with their race. It has nothing to do with their pregnant. It just has to do with the fact that they leaked internal documents. Again, that's a fireable offense. I don't care who it is, right? Automatic, you're gone, you're out, right? I mean, they suspended the trans employee, and this is going to talk about this in a little bit, that basically tried to barge into a meeting at Netflix like they running the place, right? They tried to barge into a meeting they weren't invited to. Again, as if they're running the place. But see, Netflix signed up for this, right? And a lot of these woke corporations are signing up for this. And see, this should be a warning to these woke companies. When you bend the knee this far, what happens is that these people are not satisfied with an inch. They want a mile. They want to control the company. They want to run the company. Okay? So that's what's going on right now. And Netflix has showed their face on terms of who they actually really are and who they stand with and what they stand with, which is the money, right? And now all of a sudden these people want to get mad, right? And then they're showing you what they really think, which is that, hey, we run this company. We run this piece. Okay? That's what they're doing. And I just love watching this, because it reveals the truth about both sides here, right? I love it. And I hope it's a warning to corporate America. I really do. And by the way, right, that paragraph about Netflix targeting black trans people, I got a few questions, because this employee is black and pregnant. Apparently they're also trans, maybe, okay? So is it a trans man? Okay, like I'm not sure how that works. It can't be a trans woman, which would be a man trying to be a woman. That's not possible for them to get pregnant, because men can't get pregnant. So it has to be a woman trying to be a man who ended up getting pregnant, which means that they are dating a man while they're trying to be a man. I don't know. I'm just saying. It's confusing in regards to whether or not this person that leads the trans resource group is actually a transgender individual themselves. The leaking of internal data is highly unusual at Netflix. While the company prides itself on transparency, employees are told that the culture can only thrive when Netflix data remains internal. A Netflix spokesperson confirmed the employee's dismissal. Quote, "We have to let go of an employee for sharing confidential, commercially sensitive information outside the company," they said. "We understand the employee may have been motivated by disappointment and hurt with Netflix, but maintaining a culture of trust and transparency is core to our company." Controversy surrounding the closure, which was widely criticized by trans activists for being transphobic, has ruled Netflix in recent weeks. The company suspended Tara Fields, a trans software engineer who posted a viral tweet thread about the controversy for attending a director-level meeting to which she wasn't invited. Field has since been reinstated. The company is now sending employees details about what meetings they're allowed to attend. Oh, man. Okay, so, yeah. Again, I'm loving every single last minute of this. And again, the reason why is because it is clearly showing people what these companies are about, right? Which is just the bottom line. They're about profit. They're about the green, okay? And Dave Chappelle, who's probably the most famous comedian on the planet, is uncancelable, right? Netflix is going to stand with the money every single time. Every single time. Because most people agree with Dave Chappelle, right? A lot of people are like, you know what? We should not be canceling comedy, right? We don't want comedy to be censored, okay? Just to try to appease a small minority of people. We don't want that. And that's how most people feel. And I hope that these companies take note of that. We cannot live in a world where just because you criticize a certain group of people, that is automatically classified as hate speech. It's not. It's not. Okay? It's not hate speech. Commentary, opinions is not hate speech. Jokes are not hate speech. People are entitled to opinions. People can make money off of these opinions. There's nothing wrong with that. There are certain groups of people in this country that can say whatever the hell they want about certain other people in this country, and there's no ramifications or any consequences for it. But as soon as somebody says something about them, that's a joke, right? All of a sudden, you got to cancel that person. Try to ruin that person's livelihood, their ability to feed their family. And that's not how equality works. That's not how equality works. Okay? So again, I hope these companies take note. Take note of what's happening at Netflix right now. When you go too far, this is what you end up with. When you bend the knee, this is what you end up with. You're signing up for these people to run your companies. And their agenda is not going to be in line with profit, right? In the long run. It's not going to be in line with making money. What's in line with making money and the profit is going with what most people believe, what most people are okay with, which is people like Dave Chappelle, right? People being able to say what they want to say, okay? Not having everything classified as hate speech just because it hurts some people's feelings. It's very simple. It's very simple. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.